Hello YouTube, this is the Archetype Goto, and I am bringing you finally a way to level up Gilliam at his fullest potential. So what I just had was Joshua waste one random number and then move Gilliam into the same position as though Loot leveled up with hers. Wasting just one random number will have this guy attack and hit Gilliam, but then when he levels up he should get this, which boosts everything except for his resistance, which is pretty good for a knight. Now, if you're using this a bit later on in the game, and you already have Gilliam to the point where he has pretty much max defense, or you don't care about that as much anymore, but need to work on his resistance, you can instead have Joshua do that, waste two random numbers, and then get them out of the way, so the Bone Walker isn't tempted to attack them, and then move Gilliam down into position here, and this time, when the Revenant attacks, you'll have everything go up except his luck and defense, so you get some resistance there. Now, because I'm pretty thorough about this investigation, the next part I'll explore something where we can get his defense and resistance to go up. Okay, so I did a combination, or on my Gilliam anyway, of both of those different level ups for a while. I'd feel pretty confident doing the resistance boosting one until his defense matches his level. But the thing you need to watch out for is right here, and it actually happened for me a level or two ago. When Gilliam's speed reaches 13, as you can see minus 14, because I already did the method to get around this once. If you just waste one random number with Joshua, and then move Gilliam down into position, he will actually be fast enough, which is kind of funny because he's a knight, but he'll actually be fast enough to dodge that first attack. And then when he attacks twice and levels up, he gets a level up which is similar to the optimal one, but still not quite perfect. So, to get around the somewhat poor level up for Gilliam, we're going to abuse what we know about the random numerator generator and how it works within battles and within turns. I've already explained how it can affect your movement with terrain differences such as going through the forest and whatnot. So let's talk about how it works in battle. Think of it this way. The random numbers for the game are stored in a long line of numbers, but they're not stored as actual numbers yet. They're just designated high or low. Because the numbers themselves aren't defined until they're actually needed, they're just recognized high or low, the string could just as easily be these numbers here as these numbers here. Now, I just made them up just so we can play with something, but you'll get the idea. So, when a unit goes into attack, every attack by every unit uses 3 of these random numbers. The first 2 numbers determine your normal attack. If the average of the first 2 numbers is lower than a unit's hit percentage, he'll hit. If the average is higher than the unit's hit percentage, then they'll miss. The cool thing about Colm is in this battle I'm showing you here, his hit percentage is 100, so no matter what his first 2 numbers are, he will absolutely hit. The third number determines your critical hit. If that third number is below the critical hit percentage, you'll get a critical hit. That will override the previous 2 numbers to guarantee you a hit and then triple the damage. So we're going to look through the entire battle. If we assume that this random string of numbers is actually what happens, then you'll expect to see Colm attack with no critical hit. The Bone Walker would attack, do about the same. And then Colm would attack as well. Now, what happens if someone levels up? When someone levels up, the next 7 numbers in the random number string are lined up next to the character's growth rates. And if the random numbers are lower than the growth rates of the specific unit, then that stat will increase by 1. So you see in the first string of numbers here, the stats or the random numbers that I made up next were all exactly 2 less than Colm's growth rates. And so numbers like that would result in a perfect level up for Colm. In the second string of numbers, only 2 of the numbers were below his growth rates, which would result in a growth rate of only HP and speed having gone up. The only thing that would violate that would be if you had a unit, someone like Myrrh, or Wolf and Sedgar from Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon, but if they have growth rates which are over 100%, they will always have 1 point increase, definitely. But if the random number is below the second set of random numbers, like say the random number is 29 and Myr's defense growth rate is 150, because 29 is lower than 50, she will have an increase of 2 in that growth, or in that statistic, which is actually pretty good. Characters like that don't happen very often, but when it does, it's cool to capitalize on that. The next thing to know is that when you end your turn, that also uses 1 random number. So, the way we get a good level up for Gilliam here is to have Joshua waste 1 random number. That's going to make the game think like we've ended our turn, so we're going to access the enemy's random numbers. Then we're going to have Joshua waste 3 random numbers, the first 2 for the Revenant's attack, and the third one for the Revenant's possible critical hit. And then when Gilliam goes to attack, the game doesn't think that he's just dodged an attack, so the random numbers will be the same as what they were before. So when Gilliam attacks twice at range, he'll hit the same as he did last time, and he'll get the same good level up as he did before. The next character that I'm going to show off for you is Kyle, one of my favorite Cavaliers. So I will see you in a bit. Happy grinding!